Something is shifting, quietly but powerfully. Countries that once admired the US are now walking away. Not with protests, but with silence, cancelled trips, and closed doors. From Canada to China, the world is slowly turning its back. Why? And what does it mean for America's place in the world? Let's uncover the silent boycott reshaping global power in 2025. Number 7. Russia. Russia's ties with the US are at their worst in years. After threats to confiscate frozen Russian assets, Moscow warned of severe retaliation. Diplomatic relations are on the verge of being downgraded. Russian leaders accuse the US of economic warfare. Media portrays America as hostile and hypocritical. Travel between the countries is nearly non-existent. Cultural and academic exchanges have been suspended. Sanctions have further fueled public resentment. The Russian public overwhelmingly supports distancing from the West. Alliances with China, Iran, and others are taking priority. American soft power is virtually gone in Russia. The split feels permanent, not temporary. Number 6. China. China's partnership with Russia has strengthened as both nations challenge US dominance. President Xi and Putin publicly vow to oppose Western hegemony. Chinese media regularly portrays America as a declining power. Educational exchanges with the US have dropped sharply. The Chinese public now views America with strategic caution. Tourists prefer domestic or regional travel over the US. Tech and media regulations block more US content. Youth sentiment leans toward nationalism over globalism. American culture is no longer idealized as it once was. Beijing promotes Chinese modernization as superior to the Western model. The shift is political, economic, and emotional. China is clearly pulling away from US influence. Number 5. Turkey. In 2025, Turkey openly criticized NATO's cooperation with Israel, directly challenging US leadership. Turkish officials accused the US of double standards and injustice. Public sentiment in Turkey has become increasingly anti-American. News channels highlight US foreign policy failures regularly. Citizens are canceling vacations and student programs in the US. Religious and cultural groups push for regional alliances instead. Economic cooperation with Russia and China is growing. Turkish youth are turning to Asia and Europe for opportunities. Protests outside US diplomatic buildings have increased. American products face unofficial boycotts. Trust in US diplomacy is at a low point. The rift reflects a long-building frustration. Number 4. South Africa. South Africa's relations with the US soured after the suspension of American aid in 2025. The US criticized land reform policies, sparking public outrage. South African officials called the move colonial and disrespectful. Citizens rallied in protest, demanding a shift in alliances. Tourism to the US saw a sharp decline this year. American businesses face growing resistance locally. Social media campaigns call for economic independence from the West. The youth, especially, feel America no longer shares their values. Universities are partnering more with BRICS nations. Cultural imports from the US are now viewed with skepticism. This growing distance feels both political and personal. It may take years to restore trust. Number 3. Germany. Germany has issued multiple travel warnings about the US in 2025, citing gun violence and internal unrest. German media frequently portrays America as unstable and unsafe. Tourism interest has significantly dropped across all age groups. Student exchanges and research collaborations have declined. Public protests highlight opposition to US foreign interventions. Germany's younger generation feels less connected to American ideals. Political trust in the transatlantic alliance is eroding. Economic ties remain strong, but emotional ties are weakening. German families are choosing safer destinations for holidays. U.S. embassy events see lower attendance. America's image as a cultural leader is now questioned. Quiet rejection has replaced loud admiration. Number 2. France. France has witnessed a colossal decline in public interest in the United States. American cities are no longer on top of travel wish lists. French citizens cite U.S. foreign policy, racial tensions, and rising extremism as reasons for concern. Flights to the U.S. are being cancelled due to low demand. American films and culture are losing popularity. French youth are choosing to study in Europe or Asia instead. Intellectuals and artists openly criticize U.S. global behavior. The perception of America has shifted from admiration to disappointment. Even French officials speak more cautiously about the alliance. Quiet boycotts of American brands are spreading. This cultural distance marks a deep emotional shift in France. Number 1. Canada. In 2025, Canada has shown a sharp decline in travel to the U.S., with over 70% fewer flights compared to past years. This drop isn't just about logistics, it reflects deep public mistrust. Concerns over gun violence, political instability, and immigration policies dominate Canadian media. Hashtags like #BoycottUSA trend across social platforms. Many families have cancelled vacations, citing safety fears. Even Canadian schools have reduced trips to American destinations. Local tourism is booming as a result. Celebrities and influencers urge citizens to avoid the U.S. Cultural admiration has turned to caution. Business ties remain, but people-to-people warmth is fading. What was once an easy trip across the border now feels uncertain and unwelcoming. This isn't just about fewer flights or cancelled vacations. It's about something deeper, a quiet but powerful global shift in trust, values, and direction. Countries aren't shouting in anger, they're stepping away in silence. And that silence speaks volumes. Longtime allies are rethinking their friendships, citizens are re-evaluating where they feel safe, respected, and inspired. The U.S., once seen as the land of opportunity and freedom, is now viewed by many as unstable, divided, and unpredictable. This isn't a diplomatic war, but something more dangerous, a slow, silent exit from the American orbit. The world isn't declaring war on America, it's simply choosing to walk away. Choosing different alliances, new cultural icons, and alternative futures. This isn't a trend. It's a reckoning. And if the U.S. doesn't listen to this silence, if it ignores the quiet exits and the shifting eyes, it may wake up to a world where its influence has not been defeated, but simply replaced. Hope you liked today's meaningful video. See you with a new video. God bless you.